के सेंटर, स्किल सेंटर्स खोलने का आगे कोई इस तरह का विचार है क्या?
अध्यक्ष जी, आदरणीय सदस्य को मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि जो देश भर में लगभग हमारी टारगेट था कि 2 लाख कोरोना वॉरियर कोर्स क्रैश कोर्स हम लोग शुरू करें। उसमें अंत तक ऑन जॉब ट्रेनिंग वाला ये कोर्स था। 1,18,386 कैंडिडेट सफलता के साथ ट्रेंड हो चुके हैं। उसमें मध्य प्रदेश में 130 सेंटर के अंदर 10,718 और माननीय सदस्य जो गुना जिले के बारे में बात कहा, गुना जिले में 2 सेंटर में 208 नौजवानों को ऑन जॉब ट्रेनिंग दिया गया है। वो तो एक इमरजेंसी की व्यवस्था के लिए था। आगे धीरे धीरे हम लोग एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट स्किल कमेटी बना के उस जिले की जो आवश्यकता है और जिले से लोग जहां काम करने थे उस प्रकार की स्किलिंग सिस्टम डेवलप कर रहे हैं।
आपका सुझाव सही है कि इसमें डिस्ट्रिक्ट काउंसिल बनाकर उनके सुझाव के आधार पर ही काउंसलिंग कराएंगे तो ज्यादा बेटर रहेगा। हाँ, माननीय सॉल्यूएंट पूछना चाहते हैं? जी,
माननीय मंत्री जी, कौशल विकास जो प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना है, इसके तहत वाकई में कई युवाओं को उनकी प्रतिभाओं को निखारा गया है। कई कोर्सेज से उन्हें रोजगार भी उपलब्ध हुआ है और ऐसे रोजगार मेले हर जिले में लगातार लगते हैं और शायद सभी सांसद उन मेलों में जाते हैं। मैं अपने क्षेत्र के युवाओं की तरफ से माननीय मंत्री जी का धन्यवाद देता हूं। इसके साथ साथ माननीय मैं एक प्रश्न पूछना चाहता हूं। अभी सरकारी अस्पतालों और कोविड सेंटर्स में सेफ्टी ऑडिट की शायद बहुत ही जरूरत है। कई बार देखने में आया है कि आईसीयू, इमरजेंसी वार्ड, कई जगह इलेक्ट्रिक शॉक सर्किट के कारण कई दुर्घटनाएं हो जाती हैं। तो मेरा माननीय मंत्री जी से ये आग्रह है और निवेदन है, क्या कोविड सेंटर्स और हॉस्पिटल्स की सेफ्टी ऑडिट के लिए आवश्यक टेक्नीशियंस के लिए स्किल डेवलपमेंट हेतु कोविड वॉरियर कोर्सेस में कुछ ऐसा प्रावधान करने का आगे विचार है क्या?
जी, ये अध्यक्ष सदस्य ने अच्छा प्रश्न उठाया। जैसे जैसे हमारी स्वास्थ्य विभाग इस बार जो चैलेंज आई, हॉस्पिटल इक्विपमेंट्स, ऑक्सीजन, इस प्रकार की जब नया नया चीज आ रहा है, उसकी सुरक्षा भी एक चिंता बढ़ा रही है। उस दृष्टि से भारत सरकार विशेष करके एनसीवीटी संबंधित स्टेक होल्डर से चर्चा करके नए नए कोर्स भी हम बना रहे हैं। ये एक डायनेमिक प्रोसेस है। इसमें भी जो मेडिकल सेफ्टी, मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट्स की और हॉस्पिटल की सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी की ऑडिट का जो स्किल ट्रेंड चाहिए, उसको भी हम कोर्स को खोलना चाहेंगे।
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष जी कि आपने मुझे पूरक प्रश्न पूछने की अनुमति दी। सरकार ने कोविड वॉरियर्स के क्रैश कोर्स की अच्छी योजना बनाई। हमने पिछले 2 वर्षों में ये भी देखा है कि कोविड वॉरियर्स के साथ साथ आशा वर्कर्स ने भी अच्छा काम किया है और उनकी संख्या पूरे देश में मुझे लगता है कि 10 लाख से भी ज्यादा है और आज वो सब एडॉक बेसिस पर कार्यरत है और बहुत वर्षों से रेगुलराइजेशन और पे स्केल बढ़े, इसके लिए मांग कर रहे, आंदोलन कर रहे। मेरे मंत्री जी से ये प्रश्न है कि इस कोर्स में कितने आशा वर्कर्स ने एनरोल किया?
In the evening. In addition to that, the other subjects that have been taken up, which have been read out, they will also be put in the bulletin, and members are requested to study those subjects also and come prepared to the House. And often members complain that they are not given adequate time. When time is given, and if there is no sufficient number of people to participate in the discussion, the chair cannot do anything. Keep that in mind. And the other house, I'm not supposed to mention and make a comparison, sometimes is sitting up to 12 o'clock. And we are elders. So please keep this in mind and try to take advantage of this liberal attitude of sitting beyond 6 o'clock and then participating in the discussion. And also I have observed certain members, they are discussing among themselves. Some of them are wearing masks. I have seen people who are wearing masks and also other appliances, they are not able to understand the sound they are making to others. Really. So please see to it that if you have something very important, urgent, both of you can quietly go out, talk among yourselves in the lobbies and also the other places, and then come back together or separately. I have no problem either way. But within the House, members or ministers or anybody, they should not talk among themselves because it will add to the noise in the House and it will detract the attention from the honorable member who is making his own submission in the House. Keep that in mind. And question number 121, question 121, Sri Anil Desai. Vandana Chavani, please. She will be presiding over the question. Huh? Women's Day.
Thank you. Desai ji.
Thank you,
Minister to lead
Chairperson.
the reply. Yes, supplementary.
Yeah. Thank you,
You're writing the
Vice Chairperson.
names.
Minister, in his answer which has been given in the written reply, I said that to safeguard the passenger interest and ensure the operational viability of the airlines, the fare caps as a special measure, government notified fare caps on this as a special measure during the COVID pandemic. Madam, now that the effect of Russia and Ukraine war, which has seen the severe impact on the crude prices, and that would make air travel unaffordable to the passengers if airfares are not controlled by the government. And not only domestic airlines but international airlines too, government needs to initiate dialogue.
Number 9, Dr. Bhagwat Kararji.
Sir, I rise to lay the papers mentioned against my name in the list of business for today. Thank you, sir.
Item number 10, Shri Meghwal ji.
धन्यवाद Honorable Chairperson, sir. With your kind permission, I present the 29th report of the Business Advisory Committee. Thank you.
Item number 11, Shrimati Jaskaur Meena ji.
माननीय सभापति जी, आपकी आज्ञा से मैं आज की कार्यसूची के क्रम संख्या 11 पे मेरे नाम के सामने यथा सूचीबद्ध रेल संबंधी स्थायी समिति के 11वें प्रतिवेदन हिंदी व अंग्रेजी संस्करण को सभा पटल पर रखती हूँ।
Item number 12, Shrimati Rama Devi ji.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं सामाजिक न्याय और अधिकारिता संबंधी अस्थायी समिति 2021-22 के जनजातीय कार्य मंत्रालय से संबंधित अनुदानों की मांगे 2022-23 पर 30वां प्रतिवेदन हिंदी और अंग्रेजी संस्करण जैसा कि आज की कार्यसूची में मेरे नाम के सामने क्रम संख्या 12 पर सूचीबद्ध है, मैं प्रस्तुत करती हूँ।
Item number 13, Shri Dulal Chandra Goswami ji.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय, मैं गृह संबंधी अस्थायी समिति के निम्नलिखित 2 प्रतिवेदनों को एक एक प्रति हिंदी और अंग्रेजी सभा पटल पर रखता हूं। 1, गृह मंत्रालय के अनुदान मांग 2022-23 संबंधी 138वां प्रतिवेदन। 2, उत्तर पूर्व क्षेत्र विकास मंत्रालय के अनुदान मांग 2022-23 के 239वां प्रतिवेदन सदन पटल पर रखता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Number 14, Shri Sunil Mede ji.
Honorable Chairperson, I rise to lay on the table a copy of each of the 314th, 315th, 316th, 317th and 318th reports of the Standing Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture listed against my name at serial number 14 in today's order of paper.
Number 15, Dr. Subhash Sarkar ji.
आदरणीय सभापति महोदय, आपकी अनुमति से आज की क्रम संख्या 15 पर मेरे नाम के आगे उल्लिखित कार्य में श्री गोपाल जी ठाकुर माननीय सांसद द्वारा 7 फरवरी 2022 को पूछे गए अतारांकित प्रश्न संख्या 905 मैथिली भाषा में सीटीईटी परीक्षा के उत्तर में शुद्धि करने के बारे में वक्तव्य देता हूं। संशोधित उत्तर सीटीईटी को सलाहकार और कार्यान्वयन समिति ने 24/4/2014 को आयोजित अपनी चौथी बैठक में केवल उपरोक्त भाषाओं के साथ यह परीक्षा जारी रखने का निर्णय लिया। नमस्कार।
आइटम नंबर 16, श्री धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी।
अध्यक्ष महोदय, आपकी अनुमति से आज की कार्यसूची की क्रमांक संख्या 16 पर उल्लेखित मेरे नाम के सामने दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय की कोर्ट के लिए सदस्यों के रूप में कार्य करने हेतु लोकसभा की 2 सदस्यों के निर्वाचन प्रस्ताव में सभा पटल पर प्रस्तुत करता हूं।
प्रश्न यह है कि श्री धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी द्वारा प्रस्तुत प्रस्ताव को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य प्रस्ताव के पक्ष में है वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य प्रस्ताव के विरोध में है वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, प्रस्ताव स्वीकृत हुआ। आइटम नंबर 17, श्री ब्रजेंद्र सिंह जी।
I beg to move that this House do extend up to the 3rd of June 2022 the time for the presentation of the report of the Joint Committee on the Biological Diversity Amendment Bill 2021.
प्रश्न यह है कि श्री ब्रजेंद्र सिंह जी द्वारा प्रस्तुत प्रस्ताव को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य प्रस्ताव के पक्ष में है वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य प्रस्ताव के विरोध में है वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, प्रस्ताव स्वीकृत हुआ। आइटम नंबर 18, श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण जी।
Sir, I rise to present a statement in Hindi and English, both versions, of estimated receipts and expenditure of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir for the year 22-23.
Number 19, again, Madam.
Sir, I rise to present a statement, Hindi and English versions, showing the supplementary demand for grants in respect of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir for the year 21-22.
Item number 20, G.
Sir, I rise to again present a statement, Hindi and English versions, showing supplementary demands for grants, third and the final batch for 21 and 22.
Item number 21, Shrimati Nirmala ji.
Sir, I rise to present a statement again in Hindi and English versions, showing demands for grants, excess grants for 18 and 19.
माननीय सदस्यगण, नियम 377 के अधीन मामलों को सभा पटल पर रखा जाएगा। जिन माननीय सदस्यों के 377 के अधीन मामले स्वीकृत किए गए हैं वह कृपया निर्धारित समय में उनको पटल पर पहुंचा दें। आइटम नंबर 23, श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण जी।
So this is a motion. I rise to move that this House do suspend Rule 205 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha, which provides that there shall be no discussion of the budget on the day it is presented to the House in its application to discussion of the budget for 22-23 and supplementary demands for grants for 21-22 of the Government of Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir to enable the same-day presentation of and discussion on the budget.
Shri Manish Tiwari ji.
Mr. Chairperson, sir, I rise to oppose this motion. If we look at Rule 205, Rule 205 says there shall, the word used is shall, be no discussion of the budget on the day on which is presented in the House. Mr. Chairperson, sir, that while Rule 388 provides for the suspension of rules on a motion moved by any of the members, my submission is that there are certain rules which form the basic structure of the rules of procedure for the conduct of business of this House and are therefore beyond the amending power of the House. Similarly, like certain features of the Constitution have been held by the Supreme Court in Keshav Nand Bharti's case to be beyond the amending power of Article 368, which applies to this House. Similarly, there are certain rules which are sacrosanct because the scrutiny of budgets is the primary responsibility of this House. And in the case of Jammu and Kashmir, which does not have an elected legislature, and this House substitutes itself for the legislature of Jammu and Kashmir, that duty becomes even far more compounded. So therefore, under those circumstances, my objections are twofold. My first objection is I want a ruling from the chair that Article 2, whether Rule 205 is within the scope of amendment as proposed by Rule 388, or it is beyond the amending power because it constitutes the basic structure of these rules. Number two, my submission is, Mr. Chairperson, that the budget which the Honourable Finance Minister has presented, it is a serious document, it is an important document. We should be given time to study it. So therefore, heavens will not fall that rather than have the discussion now, we don't even have the budget in front of us. We don't have the papers in front of us. What are we supposed to discuss in the House when we don't even have the papers in front of us? If this rule is, if this motion is carried, if this motion is carried and it is suspended, what is this House going to discuss? Where are the papers? Where is the budget? So under those circumstances, my submission is, heavens will not fall. Please allow us time. Let us have this discussion tomorrow. But more important than that, Mr. Chairperson, sir, I want a ruling from the chair whether Rule 205 can at all be suspended because it constitutes basic structure of the rules.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please. We have given notice, Sir, I have given notice of my objection in allowing this motion of Rule 205 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business. I fully support the observations made by Sri Manish Tiwari ji. Regarding Rule 205 is very specific that there shall not be. I would like to reiterate Rule 205, that is, there shall be no discussion. There shall be no discussion of the budget on the day on which it is presented to the House. Today, Madam has now presented the Jammu Kashmir budget for the year 22-23. Yes, we fully agree with it. So there cannot be a discussion on the same subject matter today. That is the first objection. Why? Because the Constitution of India provides for the scrupulous scrutiny of each and every penny which is being spent out of the Consolidated Fund of India, that is to be approved by the Parliament. Each and every penny out of the Consolidated Fund of India has to be approved by this Parliament. This is the right of the Parliament, right of the members of the House. We don't have a budget. Now, at present, just now, Madam has presented the budget. We don't have the copy. Now we have to go to the publication counter and get the copy of the budget and see whether the Jammu Kashmir industry is being protected. So nowhere this motion can be allowed, number one. And number two is regarding 250, sir, Rule 15, Rule 215 and Rule 216. That is my second objection. That is a point of order for which I am seeking a ruling from you. Sir, because the order paper, the list of business shows that if item number 23 is carried on, Chairman, sir, kindly see, if item number 23 is, if this motion is carried on by this House, then item number 24 to 26 will be taken together for discussion. If item number 23 is carried on, if this motion is carried by this House, then we are going to take this 24 to 26 will be taken together. Sir, I am coming to two provisions, 215 of the Rules of Procedure and 216 of Rules of Procedure. I am reading Rule 216 of the Rules of Procedure. The debate on the supplementary grant shall be confined to the items constituting the same, and no discussion may be raised on the original grants, nor policy underlying them, save insofar as it may be necessary to explain or illustrate the particular items under discussion. Sir, 216 is very clear that the original demands for grants shall never be discussed with the supplementary demands for grants. Yes, I do expect that if the speaker has ample right to suspend the rule, that I would agree. But there is a specific provision in the rules of practice and conduct of business by virtue of Rule 216. Original grants for demands shall never be discussed with the supplementary demands for grants. Sir, kindly see item number 2. All these original demands for grants or original budget is there, along with supplementary demands is also there. Supplementary demands and original grants shall never be discussed together. That is Rule 216. Rule 205 is a mandatory provision by virtue of the Constitution of India. It is having a constitutional backing also, because budget is the annual revenue expenditure that has scrupulous scrutiny of the budget provisions is required, for which time is required. Hence, my suggestion is, my submission is, in no way this motion be carried. I strongly oppose this motion.
जी जी धन्यवाद। देखिए माननीय सदस्यगण, आपने अपनी आपत्ति दर्ज कर दी है। आज के बिजनेस के अंदर यदि ये एजेंडा स्वीकृत हुआ है तो निश्चित रूप से माननीय अध्यक्ष जी की अनुमति से स्वीकृत हुआ है, और जैसा ऑनरेबल मेंबर ने भी कहा कि उनका अधिकार है और इस पर ज्यादा चर्चा करना उचित नहीं। आपने आपत्ति दर्ज कर दी। प्रश्न यह है कि श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण द्वारा प्रस्तुत प्रस्ताव को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य इसके विरोध में वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, प्रस्ताव स्वीकृत हुआ। आदरणीय बालू जी, 0 hour begins now, please. You were asking to give some chance, now please start.
No problem, sir.
Please.
Sir.
I have told that यदि ऑनरेबल स्पीकर उन्होंने इसको एजेंडे में लिया है तो ये फाइनल है, इट्स ऑल। आपने भी इस बात को कहा, उनका अधिकार है, उस अधिकार को मान्य करना ही चाहिए, उस पर कोई चर्चा की आवश्यकता नहीं है। बालू साहब, आप पर सब बोलिए ना। 0 hour, प्लीज।
Sir, Government of India is the largest employer of the country. Government of India is the largest employer. Sir, more than 22.55 crores organized employees are there in this country. And they are contributing EPF. Sir, in 2016, according to 7th Pay Commission, the employees are entitled to get 18,000 rupees as minimum wages. But Government of India has not come forward to extend 18,000 and divided by 2, 9,000 as pension per month. That means 9,000 rupees pension per month. They have to extend. But Government of India has not given any consent to 9,000. But they slashed to 3,000. Even after slashing to 3,000, they are not extending 3,000. They are extending only the minimum pension is 1,000 rupees only. I don't know what is the reason behind it. Now, adding insult to the injury, yesterday or day before yesterday, they have slashed the interest from 8.5% to 8.1%. It is the most dangerous issue which the EPF committee has agreed to 8.1%. This is not good, sir. I demand the EPF committee should restore 8.5% interest on EPF, and at the same time, they should give a minimum pension of 3,000 what they have agreed during the discussion with the labour. Sir, thank you, sir.
जीरो आवर में बोलना चाहते हैं क्या सुदीप दा? जीरो आवर में कोई विषय रखना चाहते हैं क्या? वो विषय पूर्ण हो चुका। कल्याण दा बैठिए, आप प्लीज बैठिए। कल्याण दा, जीरो आवर में कोई सबमिशन आपका हो, नहीं केवल जीरो आवर में कोई सबमिशन हो तो प्लीज।
Yes, issue which was raised by Manish Tiwari. Sir, today this issue was discussed on the advisory committee meeting in the BSc. Sir, listen now.
Sudeep da, it is not question of zero hour now.
This issue was discussed.
No.
This
that is over now.
Sir, आप सुनिए ना, पहले expand कर देंगे बाद में. This issue was discussed in the business advisory committee. The minister was also present. There, Honorable Speaker agreed that without circulation of the budget speeches to the members, how they can take part in the
सुदीप दा,
discussion.
आप बहुत वरिष्ठ
So
सांसद
he
हैं।
said that,
No.
that the
Please,
decision has
please.
been adopted.
No.
At least 2
Objection.
hours minimum time to be
Dr.
given for
Sanjeev Kumar
studying the
Shindri.
budget. And then only the discussion can start.
Nothing is going on.
Otherwise, this discussion
Dr. Sanjeev Kumar
cannot start.
Shindri को चर्चा
After 2 hours, it will be discussed. After 2 hours, it will be discussed.
आपका कोई नोटिस भी नहीं है और वो विषय पूरा भी हो चुका है। कल्याण दा बैठ जाइए। डॉक्टर संजीव कुमार शिंगरी है क्या?
After 2 hours,
डॉक्टर कृष्णपाल सिंह यादव जी प्लीज। नथिंग विल गो ऑन रिकॉर्ड एक्सेप्ट दैट ऑफ श्री कृष्णपाल यादव जी।
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय, जो आपने मुझे इस शून्यकाल में बोलने का अवसर दिया। सर्वप्रथम तो मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के इन 4 राज्यों में प्रचंड जीत के लिए हमारे यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री जी, सम्माननीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष श्री जेपी नड्डा जी, सम्माननीय श्री अमित शाह जी व वरिष्ठ नेतृत्व व कार्यकर्ताओं को बधाई देता हूं। माननीय, मैं आपके माध्यम से सरकार को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं कि मेरे द्वारा रखी गई मेरे संसदीय क्षेत्र गुना लोकसभा की क्षेत्रीय मांगों को स्वीकृति प्रदान की, परंतु प्रशासनिक व अन्य कारणों से उन योजनाओं का व स्वीकृत सुविधाओं का क्रियान्वयन आज तक नहीं हो पाया है, जिसमें से प्रमुख रूप से स्वास्थ्य के क्षेत्र में एनएचएम के माध्यम से सभी जिला अस्पतालों के चिकित्सा सुविधाओं में वृद्धि, अशोकनगर में केंद्रीय विद्यालय का निर्माण, शिवपुरी में क्रांतिवीर तात्या टोपे जी का विश्व स्तरीय संग्रहालय का निर्माण, गुना में पासपोर्ट सेवा केंद्र का निर्माण, शिवपुरी में माधव नेशनल पार्क में टाइगर सफारी संचालित करना, माननीय और भी अन्य कई कार्य जो स्वीकृत हुए हैं पर धरातल पर ठीक से आज तक क्रियान्वयन नहीं हुआ है। आपके माध्यम से मेरा सरकार से निवेदन है कि मेरे संसदीय क्षेत्र में केंद्र की योजनाओं के क्रियान्वयन में हो रही देरी को तत्काल संज्ञान में लेकर गंभीरता से विचार करते हुए उचित व आवश्यक कार्रवाई करने का कष्ट करें। धन्यवाद।
श्री पीवी मिथुन रेड्डी जी।
Sir, thousands of students from Andhra Pradesh who've been pursuing their medical education in Ukraine, they have been evacuated from Ukraine. Sorry, not only Andhra Pradesh, throughout the country, thousands of students have been brought back, and their future is very uncertain. So we don't know when things will come back to normalcy. And most of them are poor students, sir. Their parents have put their lifetime earnings into this. So through yourself, I demand the government, these students may be relocated in the Indian colleges, sir. But the tuition fees or the medical fees are very high in our country, sir. So it should be on par with or where it is feasible for them to get admitted here. The government should devise a mechanism as a one-time case. All the students who have come back, sir, they should be relocated in various colleges in the country. And also, sir, the government should take steps to put more medical colleges, and they should also encourage states where they are constructing new medical colleges. Thank you, sir.
श्री मार्गनी भरत जी। श्री मार्गनी भरत जी नहीं। श्री हरीश द्विवेदी जी। जी हरीश जी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय सभापति जी। सभापति जी, मैं आपका ध्यान अपने संसदीय क्षेत्र बस्ती सहित संपूर्ण उत्तर प्रदेश में छुट्टा पशुओं से होने वाली समस्याओं की ओर दिलाना चाहूंगा। महोदय, छुट्टा पशुओं की वजह से विशेषकर किसान भाइयों को अनेक समस्याओं का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। ऐसे पशु मेरे संसदीय क्षेत्र बस्ती के ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में किसान भाइयों की खड़ी फसलों को व्यापक नुकसान पहुंचा रहे हैं, जिससे किसानों की गाढ़ी कमाई और खून पसीने की मेहनत बर्बाद हो जा रही है। साथ ही साथ छुट्टा पशु गली मोहल्ले से लेकर व्यस्त सड़कों विशेषकर हाईवे आदि पर दुर्घटना व यातायात जाम का कारण बन रहे हैं, जिससे राहगीरों को भी कठिनाइयों का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। अतः उपरोक्त समस्या की गंभीरता को देखते हुए मैं आपके माध्यम से सरकार से यह मांग करता हूं कि मनरेगा निधि के अंतर्गत प्रत्येक गांव में गौशालाओं का निर्माण कर उनमें छुट्टा पशुओं के रहने की व्यवस्था सुनिश्चित की जाए, जिससे किसानों के फसलों का नुकसान होने से बचाया जा सके। धन्यवाद।
श्री राजमोहन उन्नीथन जी। जी
सर, while we are rightly focusing on saving lives in Ukraine, I would like to take this opportunity to remind about the living. The incident that unfolded in Ukraine on 25th February 2022 have left the whole dumbstruck. The crisis is one that Indians cannot ignore owing to sizable population of Indians who live in Ukraine. According to the data tabled by the Ministry of External Affairs in 2021, India had over 18,000 students enrolled in various universities in Ukraine. Almost a quarter of international students in Ukraine are Indians, more than Russia and France. The government of India claimed that over 15,920 Indian nationals have been brought back to India on 76 flights under the evacuation mission Operation Ganga. However, more than 1,000 students, mostly Keralites, are still trapped in Sumy. They are waging a grim battle for survival with supplies depleting, fast exit routes to safety blocked by fierce fighting. So I request the Honourable External Minister to take necessary and quick steps to bring back the Kerala students stranded in Sumy. As all we know, their life is at stake in Ukraine. It is also a fact that thousands of Indian students returning from war-torn Ukraine are facing the issue of rehabilitation. The course of events in Ukraine has dashed their hopes and dreams. It is difficult to predict how long it will take for things to return to normalcy in the country and how long it will take for the stranded students at various stages of education to complete their education. So I request the government of India to let the Indian students from the Ukraine complete their MBBS and pursuing other streams in Indian universities. If they are accommodated in Indian colleges, their careers won't be geo-paradise. If not, their future will be in peril. Thank you very much, sir.
Shri N.K. Premchandran ji.
Thank you, Chairperson, sir. Sir, I would like to draw the attention of the Honourable Labour Minister, Bhupendra Singh Yadav ji, regarding the ESI ceiling limit. Sir, ESI Corporation, that is Employee State Insurance Corporation, is one of the major social security scheme, which is benefiting lakhs and lakhs of workers in our country, both in the organized sector as well as in the unorganized sector. But it is quite unfortunate to note that the wage ceiling limit for the entitlement of ESI benefit scheme is rupees 21,000 per month. This 21,000 per month was fixed in the year 2017, January 1. Subsequent to 2017, January, so many revision of wages have took place, so many long-term agreements have come to place, and the living index has also increased like anything. But because of the salary has been enhanced, wages has been enhanced, lakhs and lakhs of workers were now out of the purview of the employees' state insurance scheme. So there is a proposal which is pending before the Labour Ministry that the ceiling limit, wage ceiling limit, has to be enhanced up to an amount of 50,000 or whatever it may be. So I urge upon the Honourable Minister to kindly respond whether the government is thinking to enhance the wage ceiling limit of ESI entitlement. If that be, please respond to this. I urge upon the government to enhance rupees 21,000 per month to 50,000 so that lakhs and lakhs of workers in the organized as well as unorganized sectors will be benefited by means of the ESI scheme. Now, ESI scheme is one of the best scheme prevailing in our country, getting super specialty treatment, even liver transplantation, everything is being getting. So kindly enhance the ceiling limit, wage ceiling limit up to 50,000 rupees. Please respond, sir, because this is a very important issue as far as the workers are concerned. Sir, please. Sir, Chairman, sir.
सरकार के द्वारा नया सोशल सिक्योरिटी कोड आया है और हम ये जानते हैं कि सोशल सिक्योरिटी कोड जो सरकार नया लेबर कोड पास किया है उसमें ईएसआईसी का दायरा और स्कोप बढ़ने वाला है और विभिन्न राज्यों में सोशल सिक्योरिटी कोड के अंतर्गत नियम बनाने का काम जारी है। केवल सोशल सिक्योरिटी कोड आने के बाद संगठित क्षेत्र नहीं, असंगठित क्षेत्र, गिग वर्कर और प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर जैसे जो लोग हैं वो भी स्कीम में व्यापक रूप से स्वीकार किए जाएंगे। श्रम मंत्रालय द्वारा इसके फ्यूचर कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग के लिए विभिन्न सब कमेटियों का गठन किया गया है, विभिन्न निर्णय बोर्ड के द्वारा लिए गए हैं और हम जानते हैं कि माननीय सदस्य महोदय ने भी जिस प्रकार कहा है कि वन ऑफ द बेस्ट स्कीम है, हम इसको सोशल सिक्योरिटी कोड के अंतर्गत विस्तृत करने का वैसे ही कार्य कर रहे हैं।
डॉक्टर सुजय राधाकृष्ण जी, डॉक्टर सुजय राधाकृष्ण विखे पाटिल, श्री बालू भाई धानोरकर जी।
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय। महाराष्ट्र के चंद्रपूर जिला मध्यवर्ती सहकारी बैंक में संचालक मंडल का कार्यकाल 2012 से 2017 तक खत्म होने के बावजूद 2021 तक 2 बार नौकर भर्ती में आर्थिक घोटाले होने पर 2 क्रिमिनल केसेस दर्ज है। हाल ही में मार्च 2022 को महाराष्ट्र सरकार के सहकार विभाग ने 165 पदों को नौकरी भर्ती की मंजूरी दी है। माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कोर्ट के जून 2021 के जारी आदेश में जिन जिला बैंकों के संचालक मंडल का कार्यकाल पूरा हुआ वहां प्रशासक नियुक्त करे और चुनाव हो, लेकिन सीडीसीसी बैंक पर प्रशासक नियुक्त नहीं किया। इसी बैंक ने जनरल मैनेजर पर धोखाधड़ी के 2 क्रिमिनल केसेस दर्ज होने पर भी रिजर्व बैंक, नाबार्ड और सहकार विभाग के गाइडलाइन की अवहेलना करके 2021 को जीएम नियुक्त किया। इन सब बातों पर कंप्लेंट होने पर भी महाराष्ट्र सरकार के सहकार विभाग ने कोई कार्रवाई सीडीसीसी बैंक पर नहीं की है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, एपीजी सीपीआर घोटाला देश के सबसे बड़ा बैंकिंग घोटाला है। 2014 के बाद 5 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक की बैंक धोखाधड़ी हुई है। मैं किसी का नाम नहीं लूंगा, लेकिन हम सभी जानते हैं कि गुजरात राज्य से एक विशेष व्यवसायी है जिसे 2014 से सत्ता परिवर्तन के बाद एबीजी समूह को सबसे अधिक लाभ बैंकिंग धोखाधड़ी से हुआ है और इसी समूह को विशेष सुविधा के साथ जमीन भी दी गई थी। फिर भी सीबीआई के उनके खिलाफ मामला दर्ज करने के लिए 2 साल से अधिक समय लगा। मेरी सरकार से दरखास्त है कि सरकार और सहकार मंत्री जी क्या इसकी जांच के आदेश देंगे? धन्यवाद।
श्री सौगत राय जी।
Sir, in the 0 hour I rise to oppose the privatization and disinvestment policy of the government of India. The government should not take whatever victories the ruling party has had in assembly election to ride roughshod on the workers. Already it has shown its teeth by reducing the interest rate in Provident Fund from 8.5% to 8.1%. Now, our fear is that with this victory, the government will go for indiscriminate privatization of public sector in selling the family silver. The finance minister mentioned in her budget speech that Air India has already been disinvested. Neelachal Ispat Nigam has been selected. The public issue of the LIC is expected shortly. 2 banks, nationalized banks, are soon to be privatized. And not only that, I have got a list of 36 public sector undertakings which are listed for strategic disinvestment. They include Alloy Steel Plant, Bharat Petroleum Corporation, BEML Project Development, Ferroscrap Nigam, Bhadravati Steel, Bengal Chemical, ITDC, Hindustan Antibiotics, and all that. So the government is planning to sell all the airports to private parties. It is planning to sell the port to private parties. And in a big way, it is going for the disinvestment in the railways. On behalf of people in my state, we oppose this indiscriminate policy of privatization. This is anti-labor, and corporations built up with people's money over the year is going to be given to private sector, who include Adani's, Ambani's and now Tata's, were the new favorite of the government. I totally oppose the disinvestment of public sector undertakings, including banks, railways, LICs, airports, ports, and big industries in the public sector.
राजन बाबूराव विचारे जी।
अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं आपको धन्यवाद देता हूं। मेरे लोकसभा क्षेत्र के अंतर्गत आने वाला ठाणे रेलवे स्टेशन के पूर्व की ओर मल्टी मॉडल ट्रांजिट हब का निर्माण, जिसकी परियोजना की लागत 260 करोड़ रुपए है, जिसमें 50% राशि ठाणे स्मार्ट सिटी लिमिटेड द्वारा और 25% राशि राज्य सरकार और 25% राशि ठाणे कॉरपोरेशन खर्च करेगी। ठाणे रेलवे स्टेशन स्थान पूर्व दिशा में 2.4 किलोमीटर की लंबाई का उन्नत एलिवेटेड बस मार्ग, 18,000 स्क्वायर मीटर उन्नत बस डेक का निर्माण ठाणे स्मार्ट सिटी लिमिटेड द्वारा किया जा रहा है। मैं उन्नत बस डेक के ऊपर मध्य रेलवे के भविष्य में 16,000 स्क्वायर फीट मीटर की व्यावसायिक इमारत का निर्माण करने, इसका फायदा रेलवे को मिलेगा। इस परियोजना में 110 कार व 130 टू व्हीलर वाहनों का पार्किंग की सुविधा भी उपलब्ध होगी। सेटिस के निर्माण से यातायात की भीड़ कमी के साथ पैदल चलने वाले की बस पकड़ने में भी आसानी होगी। इस परियोजना तक का 40% कार्य पूरा हो चुका है और 39% राशि भी मिल चुकी है। इस परियोजना 2 अक्टूबर 2022 तक पूरा करने का लक्ष्य है। मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय रेल मंत्री जी से निवेदन करता हूं कि इस परियोजना के बचे हुए काम को समय से पूरा करें और परियोजना में आवास और शहरी विकास मंत्रालय के अंतर्गत आने वाले ठाणे स्मार्ट सिटी लिमिटेड द्वारा मिलने वाली 50% निधि जल्द से जल्द उपलब्ध करने हेतु और परियोजना से संबंधित रुकावटों को भी जल्द से जल्द पूरा करने की संबंधित मध्य रेलवे विभाग को जरूरी दिशा निर्देश देने की कृपा करें। धन्यवाद।
श्री के सुरेश जी।
Thank you, sir. Sir, the impact of the raging war in Ukraine on the lives of Indian students and other citizens remain a humanitarian and ethical issue to be dealt by the government, as they have survived a war and are victims of the war due to loss of education, abrupt halt in studies and uncertain future, compounded by looming debt traps of families who took loans from securing the future of their children. Sir, the government must devise and establish a comprehensive policy for ensuring the future of students and guarantee their education to be unaffected and compensation granted to the students for their losses and their emotional, physical well-being restored. Thus, the government announcement that students who return from the Ukraine will be able to complete their education in India after screening test. And this entire process must be constricted in a student-friendly manner, where the condition of students who are suffering trauma must be given consideration. The majority of students who have returned from Ukraine, their families are starring the significant debits, and by taking note the situation, that is an act of war, which neither the student nor their families could foresee and is absolutely unexpected. By taking this fact into consideration, their education loan must be waived. The students who have faced emotional trauma must be provided with a specialized care to help them overcome the terrifying experience they had to face the battle zone. The students must also be given supporting hand by the government to find their own livelihood. By sensing the shortcoming in coordination and evacuation mission, the government must appoint a student welfare wing in every embassy and consular office of Indian foreign countries that will be function round clock and master control room to be set up the External Affairs Ministry headquarters as policy intervention mechanism for every eventuality arising against the Indian students. So, therefore, I would like to request through you, sir, Honorable External Affairs Minister come forward the House to make a statement in this regard. Thank you, sir.
श्री बेलनाना चंद्रशेखर जी। जी।
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, sir. I stand here to raise the important issue pertaining to Pondur Kadi, sir. The Pondur town is located in the Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh. For several decades, the Weaver families belongs to backward Padmasali and Devanga communities in Pondur have been spinning Khadi. Therefore, the Khadi is a popularly known as Pondur Khadi. The Pondur Khadi has shown as its mark during the Indian freedom movement. The Khadi became the favorite handmade garment of Mahatma Gandhi. Fabrics and Pondur village are spun using the special variety of indigenous red and heel cotton. This cotton is mostly brought from Nimalavalsa village in the Laver Mandal of Srikakulam district. Moreover, weavers used to single spindle for spinning the fabrics. The usage of both red cotton and a single spindle for spinning the fabric makes Pondur Khadi garments unique in terms of quality and quantity. The geographical indication could help the Pondur Khadi gain prominence in the domestic and international market and boost exports of the fabric while providing legal protection. Further, I wish to inform that Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Minister for Finance, visited Pondur and conveyed her satisfaction and about Pondur Khadi. Hence, I request the Minister of Commerce and Industry to take steps towards issuing a geographical identification tag for Pondur Khadi. The geographical identification will help promote the market to produce for the benefit of Pondur weavers and spinners. Thank you, sir.
आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हमारी लोकसभा इटावा और उस इटावा क्षेत्र में एक बहुत बड़ा क्षेत्र यमुना और चंबल दोनों नदी हैं जो मध्य प्रदेश के सीमा पर हमारा क्षेत्र एक तरह से बीहड़ का बहुत बड़ा क्षेत्र है और वो उस क्षेत्र में सबसे बड़ी समस्या लंबे समय से पानी की समस्या रही। वहां पर बहुत दिनों तक मांग वहां पचनत पर परियोजना बनाने की चलती रही और दूसरी उस बड़े क्षेत्र में लंबे समय से मांग होती रही कि वहां पर कोई बैंक खोली जाए जिससे वहां लगभग 150 गांव ऐसे हैं जिन 150 गांवों को जंगल से होकर के जहां पर रास्ता भी नहीं है क्योंकि वन विभाग के कारण वहां पर जो गांव जंगल में बसे हुए हैं वहां पर आज तक भी आजादी के इतने दिनों के बाद भी वहां पर पक्की सड़क अभी तक नहीं बन सकी है और उस पूरे क्षेत्र में बड़ी संख्या में लोग सेना में काम कर रहे हैं। उनकी जो घर से जो महिलाएं हैं उनको एक लंबे दूरी पर बैंक में वहां जाना पड़ता है और इन्हीं सब मांगों को लेकर के वहां पर 1990 में वहां पर 2 बैंकें खोली गई, सेंट्रल बैंक खोली गई और ये दोनों बैंक हनुमंतपुरा चौराहे पर एक बैंक खोली गई और दूसरी पिपरौली गढ़िया पर यह बैंक खोली गई। महोदय, इसके बाद वहां पर 10 सम्राट बहुत सारे 10 वहां पर खड़े हुए और बड़े बड़े गिरोह जब हो गए तो उसके भय के कारण वो दोनों बैंकें वहां से लखनऊ शिफ्ट कर दी गई और चकन्नगर शिफ्ट कर दी गई। महोदय, वो 150 गांव अब वहां पर कोई 10 सम्राट नहीं रहे, कोई बड़े गिरोह नहीं रहे, लेकिन वो 150 गांव के लोग आज भी महिलाएं हमारी जो रास्ता नहीं है उन्हीं 30 किलोमीटर दूर लखनऊ में बैंक में जाना पड़ता है। मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय वित्त मंत्री महोदया से मेरा अनुरोध है कि पुनः वहां पर हनुमंतपुरा चौराहे पर पुनः सेंट्रल बैंक को खोला जाए और पिपरौली गढ़िया में खोला जाए जिससे वहां की 150 गांवों की समस्या
श्री मद्दिला गुरुमूर्ति जी,
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
श्री मद्दिला गुरुमूर्ति जी, आप प्लीज कुछ उच्चारण ठीक किया है, प्रोनाउंस करेक्टली?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Honorable Chairman, sir. I would like to raise an important issue regarding EV charging infrastructure. EV charging infrastructure in line with the 2030 vision of converting all vehicles to electric vehicles. The government has encouraged usage of electric vehicles through initiatives like introduction of FAMA scheme, PLI scheme for automotive sector. and creation of e-Amrit portal to boost consumer knowledge and solve queries related to electric vehicles. According to Vahan portal, as of January 2022, there are 9.13 lakhs total registered EV vehicles in India. Among the total EVs sold in 21-22, the share of two-wheelers was the highest at 49%, followed by three-wheelers at 45%. As for Bureau of Energy Efficiency, a total of 1,028 public charging stations have been installed throughout the country by January 2022. And the gap in the number of availability public charging stations to the number of registered EVs is very high. 9 mega cities like Surat, Pune, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai and Chennai account for more than 900 stations, creating a disparity among cities across the states. For example, Tirupati of Andhra Pradesh, with a floating population of 5.8 crores per annum, is not having single public charging station, which is much useful for the people. I would therefore request the government to expedite the process of providing accessibility to charging infrastructure and solve the issue of fragmented charging stations in India, especially in Tirupati of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me.
Shrimati Supriya Suleji.
Stand here today as the Ministry of Commerce. The wholesale price index from November 2021 rose exponentially by 14.21%, sir. And due to that, the food prices and the fuel prices have really gone up. The diesel, petrol has crossed over 100 in various states, as well as the LPG cylinder gas has reached over 850. Sir, even the circumstances which are right now globally faced, which is what is happening in Russia and Ukraine, is going to impact our lives exceptionally, and it's really going to put the economy under a lot of pressure. The retail prices, the Consumer Affairs Department says between 2018 to 2021, I'll just give 2-3 examples. Sir, the cooking oil prices have increased by 67%, palm oil by 61%, moong dal by 44%, urad dal by 54%, tur dal by 49%, and so on. So I request the Honorable Government of India to step in. Anyway, the states are strapped and under a lot of financial pressures. GST money is not coming on time, so our social sector programs are affected. So how does the poor live in this country, sir? Even the Consolidated Fund of India, all the cess that is collected, be it road, be it agri, be it on all these petrol issues, all the cess, we don't even know where the cess goes. It goes to a centralized fund, but it's not necessarily spent only on that issue. So I would like to bring this to the notice of the central government. Please bring the prices down, help the state governments, because people are just recovering from the pandemic. There is a problem with the economy and people are struggling to make ends meet. So we all need to collectively put our minds and discuss this and resolve this and reduce the cess on all these.
Shri Abdul Khalik ji.
We all are aware of the humanitarian crisis faced in Ukraine because of the war. Many Indians and Indian students were stuck in the hostile war zone for several days. The government could have acted beforehand to warn Indians to leave the country and guard them from Ukraine itself months before the start of the war. Sir, Indian citizens and students had to survive in such environments and had to cross over the neighboring countries on their own. Indian government provided aircrafts to bring back people, but Indians had to risk their lives and cross the borders, find their own means to reach to one of the borders. So in reality, this was not an evacuation from the war zone as being claimed. Sir, having said that the most important part now is what will be the fate of Indian students studying in Ukraine whose future is full of uncertainties. These students are from various batches or years of medical college in Ukraine. Will the government of India bring out a policy whereby these affected students will be accommodated in various medical colleges across the country to complete their remaining medical studies? Having said that, it must also be kept in mind that these students should not be burdened with additional financial burden for completion of the courses. Along with the students, the interns should also be equally placed in various medical colleges and qualification degrees be awarded to them. Thank you, sir.
जी.
Sir, thank you very much, sir, Chairman, sir. Sir, no, I would like to bring to your knowledge, sir, the number of seats, MD/MS seats, vacant in our country due to very high cutoff score of NEET PG, sir. As per the data available in public domain, in the year of 2020 and 2019, total 4,614 seats and 4,002 of MD/MS seats remained vacant respectively, sir. Sir, the criteria of getting into that PG, MBBS students to qualify is based on 50%. Although cutoff percentage reduces after two rounds of medical counseling, still yet 4,614 MD/MS seats are vacant, sir, in our country, sir. So my request to you, sir, the cutoff, high cutoff score has to be reduced further, sir. Otherwise, we'll be losing a lot of valuable doctors in our country. You know, sir, very well, sir, COVID-19 period, we have struggled for the doctors. So I request through you, sir, Honorable the Health Minister also, to look into that, sir, mainly that, so reduce the cutoff marks. That is the main thing, sir. And my one more submission, sir. All our colleagues are also discussed about that, the students from Ukraine have come back. Actually, in my parliamentary constituency also, a lot of people have come back, sir, students also, sir. Our Honorable Chief Minister, Y.S. Jagannath Reddy Garu has made a special team for bringing up the students also, sir. And their further continuation is in a question mark only. So they have to be accommodated here also in the Indian medical colleges, especially at what reasonable rates. Otherwise, see why the people students have gone abroad is because the fee is very low there, sir. So this has to be taken into that as an emergency, sir. And it has to be considered, sir. Thank you very much.
कट ऑफ के बारे में तो शायद कोई निर्णय हुआ है. कट ऑफ के बारे में कोई निर्णय हुआ है शायद. चलिए. सब बात सुनी गई है. वो देंगे जब उचित समझेंगे तब उसका वो ठीक है. आपने बात रखी, ठीक है, ओके ओके. श्री DM कथीर आनंद जी. जी.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. Sir, Vellore city is known for prestigious education and medical institutions, is one of the fastest growing cities in the country and enjoys a unique blend of rich heritage and culture to emerge as a model city. Upcoming defense corridor from Chennai to Bangalore adds more potential value to Vellore. Our Honorable Chief Minister, Thru M.K. Stalin, after assuming office in May 2021, has swiftly swung into action, initiated several measures to give an impetus to the smart city and several infra development projects. Sir, the infrastructural and civic needs of the city need to be taken up at the earliest. Power, water, waste disposal are common problems. Vellore is an ancient city town with many monuments and temples. These need to be developed as a tourist spots. Sir, Vellore is like a bridging city connecting South Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, extending from Vellore, Ambur, Vanimbadi, Valaja, Ranipet and Arcad, and some borders of Tiruvannamalai also. These are dedicated business centers and need civic infrastructure, road and rail connectivity, power, IT connectivity. And also a lot of leather industries and tanning units are also there. Groundwater recharge mechanism has to be built in, needs a great attention. Sir, and also the cost estimated around 4,500 crores is required. In the previous years, Vellore has been selected as one of the model city and money has been 1,000 crores has been put in and still only a 50, not even 25% has been completed in Vellore. Rest of the city has to be also developed. We need infra projects. Therefore, through you, I request the Honorable Finance Minister and also the Treasury bench to allocate nearly about 4 to 4,500 crores for the Vellore city project. And also, sir, I would like to ask through you, sir, from Chennai to Bangalore, if you are on the Nahai highway, whenever if you have any accidents happen on the road, there are no medical institutions on the road because lot of accidents are taking place. Therefore, through you, the need of the hour, I request the Nahai agency to install first aid mechanism on the road, sir. Thank you, sir.
श्री खगेन मुर्मू जी।
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय, आपने जो मुझे अपने वक्तव्य को बांग्ला भाषा में रखने का अनुमति प्रदान किया है, इसके लिए मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। माननीय सभापति महोदय, আমি আপনার মাধ্যমে এই পবিত্র সদনে আমার নির্বাচন ক্ষেত্রের ব্যস্ততম মালদা টাউন রেলওয়ে স্টেশন, যেখান থেকে প্রতিদিন চিকিৎসার জন্য, ব্যবসা বাণিজ্যের জন্য এবং ব্যক্তিগত জরুরি কাজে সহস্রাধিক সংখ্যায় মানুষ দিল্লি, বেঙ্গালুরু, চেন্নাই সহ বিভিন্ন স্থানে দক্ষিণ ভারতের বিভিন্ন স্থানে যাতায়াত করেন। মহোদয়, যাত্রী সংখ্যার তুলনায় মালদা টাউন স্টেশনের উপর দিয়ে যাতায়াতকারী ট্রেনের সংখ্যা ও বরাদ্দ অনুযায়ী আসন সংখ্যা অনেক কম, তাই যাত্রীদের কনফার্ম টিকিট না পাওয়ার ফলে খুবই অসুবিধার সম্মুখীন হতে হচ্ছে। তাই মাননীয় অধ্যক্ষ মহোদয়, আপনার মাধ্যমে রেলওয়ে বিভাগের মাননীয় মন্ত্রীর দৃষ্টি আকর্ষণ করে নিম্নলিখিত প্রস্তাব রাখতে চাই। মহোদয়, আমার প্রথম প্রস্তাব, মালদা টাউন স্টেশন থেকে দিল্লি, চেন্নাই, বেঙ্গালুরু নতুন সুপারফাস্ট প্রিমিয়াম এক্সপ্রেস ট্রেন চালু করা হোক। দ্বিতীয় প্রস্তাব, বন্দে ভারত এক্সপ্রেস ট্রেনের স্টপেজ মালদা টাউন স্টেশনে দেওয়া হোক এবং প্রতিটি শ্রেণীতে কমপক্ষে একটি করে কোচ মালদার জন্য বরাদ্দ করা হোক। এবং তৃতীয় প্রস্তাব, মালদা টাউন স্টেশনের উপর দিয়ে যাতায়াতকারী প্রত্যেকটি দূরপাল্লার ট্রেনগুলিতে বরাদ্দ আসন সংখ্যা বৃদ্ধি করা হোক। ধন্যবাদ মহোদয়।
श्री सुनील बाबूराव मेढे।
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से आदरणीय ग्रामीण विकास मंत्रालय का ध्यान महाराष्ट्र में हो रहे हैं मनरेगा के काम में जो अनुचित प्रकार है उस ओर आकर्षित करना चाहता हूं। जहां तक महाराष्ट्र की बात है, करीब 800 करोड़ रुपए की राशि अभी तक के मनरेगा की जो खर्च नहीं हुई है वो उन्हें स्किल काम के ऊपर खर्च करनी है, आवंटित करनी है। मगर जहां तक वो लोग स्थानिक एमएलए को विश्वास में रखते हुए बिना ग्राम पंचायत के ध्यान में लाते हुए डायरेक्टली सभी काम महाराष्ट्र सरकार मंत्रालय की ओर से एक यादी निकालती है और जो एमएलए उनको चाहते हैं उन लोगों को डायरेक्ट वो काम दिए जाते हैं जो अनुचित प्रक्रिया का पालन है। केंद्र सरकार द्वारा अभी तक के जितने भी पैसे 800 करोड़ उनको भेजे गए हैं उसमें से 25 करोड़ रुपए मेरे जिले में आवंटित हुए हैं, जिन्हें डायरेक्ट बिना प्रक्रिया का पालन करते हुए डायरेक्टली आवंटित हुए हैं। मुझे इसके बारे में आपसे विनती है कि यह पैसा गलत इस्तेमाल होने की आशंका है, इसलिए आदरणीय मंत्रालय से मैं अनुरोध करता हूं कि इसका जो आवंटित है वो रद्द किया जाए और जो प्रक्रिया का पालन होना चाहिए, जो ग्राम पंचायत के माध्यम से आना चाहिए, उस तरह से ही वो पैसा आवंटित किया जाए। आपके माध्यम से अनुरोध करता हूं। धन्यवाद।
डॉक्टर संजीव कुमार सिंगरी आए क्या? नहीं है जी। श्री मर्गनी भरत जी, श्री डॉक्टर सुजय राधाकृष्ण जी।
Thank you, sir, for giving me an opportunity to speak in the Zero Hour on a very important issue which has been pending since last few years. So I represent the Ahmednagar Lok Sabha constituency, and in my district, which has got an immense religious tourism potential due to holy places such as Shirdi Sai Baba Temple and Shani Shingnapur Temple. Both these places draw a lot of devotees across the world, which have been increasing since the temples have been open for worship post-COVID. The increase in the number of tourists have resulted in demand for providing better transport connectivity to Shirdi through an intercity train between Shirdi, Ahmednagar and Pune. So the demand of intercity express has been pending for a long time because of limited connectivity by train. The commuters and the tourists have to travel via road, which usually take 5 to 6 hours, And due to this heavy traffic, there is a lot of inconvenience as well. So I would like to request the government through you, sir, to start an intercity train between Shirdi, Ahmednagar and Pune, which will not only benefit tourists traveling to Shirdi, but also provide relief to thousands of working professionals, students, businessmen and citizens who travel on this route frequently for work or educational purposes. Thank you, sir.
Shri Benny Benanji.
Sir, through this submission, I want to bring the notice of the August House, the problem facing by the type 1 diabetic patients and the kidney patients. Sir, approximately there are 2 lakh children in India living with type 1 diabetics. It is an autoimmune disorder characterized by insulin deficiency, resulting from progressive destructions or damage of the insulin-producing beta and of pancreas. High sugar condition, hyperglycemia, and low sugar condition, hypoglycemia, both leads to further complication in the brain, kidney, heart, etc. of a type 1 diabetic child. These children can live only with the help of life-saving devices and medications such as insulin, glucometer strips, lab tests, etc., which are very expensive that even a moderate income family cannot afford. Sir, it is learned that many countries consider type 1 diabetic as a disability and provide special assistance to these children. This is also ensure universal availability of insulin and sugar monitors of children with the type 1 diabetics, and also providing them with a suitable environment outside their homes. According to the statistics available with the Kerala, there are about 2,000 children in my state. Therefore, I urge the government to include these children with the type 1 diabetics in the disability category, and also to provide reservation for all such children in areas of higher studies, along with the possible assistance and relief of these children. Besides, it will be immense help if the mothers of these children are given priority for daily wages work under government scheme, as it will bring the parental relief to the daily struggle to meet the huge expense of the medical treatment of the children. Sir, a similar priced community in our society are those patients with a chronic kidney disease. These patients have to undergo dialysis twice or even thrice in a week, depending on the stage of the disease of each patient. The expense of the dialysis very depending, and number of dialysis required, and it may be up to 30,000 each month. A patient in stage of 5 kidney diseases may even require renal transplantation. Sir, one minute, sir. This is for the poor people. Renal transplantation, which costs rupees 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs. These patients and their family members are facing severe mental pain. So I request the government to include both the type 1 diabetics and the kidney patients in the list of this disability, so they will get the other help. Thank you, sir.
सभा की कार्यवाही आज 2 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।